for countless business owners.
This is Pat and Linda Pirelli. Now, I was speaking to a CEO group in Chicago. I met a gentleman, very tall CEO, and he's got a black Stetson hat on, pearl button shirt, creased blue jeans, and custom cowboy boots. This is no ordinary CEO. This gentleman is Mark Weiler. He's president of Pirelli Natural Horsemanship. Anybody know who Pirelli is? Anybody? Great. So if you haven't, anyone seen The Horse Whisperer with Robert Redford? Do you remember that movie? It's a chick flick. The guys, it's okay to admit that you saw it, maybe. So this is actually the real Horse Whisperer. He's real. And we've been working with him for 3 years. Now, the interesting thing that Mark shared with me that day is that their business had flatlined. They hit the front of the recession. Discretionary income went out the door. The problem is that they had made a career out of training people and their horses around non-abusive horse behavior. No bridles, no bits, no saddles, just you and the horse. 30,000-acre ranch, people fly their horses from all over the world to train here. And can you imagine how much that costs to fly a horse? I can't even imagine what it costs to fly a cat, let alone a horse. So these people are seriously committed. Now, when they go to Google, what do you already know about someone who types natural horsemanship into Google? What do you already know about them? What's that? They're already interested? That's right. What else? They usually have money. I love it. Yes, they usually have money. But the problem with this is 22,000 searches a month. Anyone do math here? What's that times 12? A lot? Is that what you said? Thank you. There's always a gearhead somewhere in the front row, right? 266. So this is a great number, but it's not enough to support a multi-million-dollar business. Now, what we do know about the word natural horsemanship is they invented it. It's their term. So anyone who types this term in already knows about Pirelli, right? That's not going to help them grow their business, is it? So what about Penny and her horse Flower? Penny kicks, Penny bites. Actually, it's not Penny, it's the horse, Flower. Flower bites, Flower kicks. The parents are looking at Penny like the horse has got to go. She turns to Google. People ask things of Google they wouldn't even ask their own mother, right? Addicted to painkiller, help. Wife is an adulterer, help, right? They put all kinds of things into that search box. So what we need to do is connect with Penny, and all of you have a Penny. So remember when Tony on the first day talked about you need to find a new customer? Do you remember he said that? How do you find a new customer? It's by connecting in a way that they think, not you. The problem is we're all so close to our own businesses that it's hard for us to see outside of that realm. So what we have to think about is 167,000 searches. What do we got going on now times 12? What's that times 12 down here? Times 12, 167,000. Yeah, 2 million, right? A little over 2 million. 100,670,000. We have Rain Man over here. Good job. Okay, great. It's a lot, right? So will that change their business? I can't hear you guys. Yes. So if you're going to grow your business, you've got to figure out where have I saturated my market? And then how do I get above that to people who don't know us but should? And that's what Pirelli was suffering for. They had saturated their market at 22,000 searches a month, a little over 250,000 searches a year. They had completely saturated that market. There was no room to pull any money out of their wallets. And when the economy hit, they really needed to reconsider their options. So what we had to take a look at is Penny and her horse Flower. Flower kicks, Flower bites, Flower won't trail her. What's the pain? She turns to Google. She hasn't seen the Horse Whisperer. In fact, she probably doesn't even know Robert Redford. She knows maybe the wrinkled Robert Redford, right? But not the Robert Redford that I know. And so what we started looking at is at horse training, 167,000 searches a month. And Pirelli is nowhere to be found. Why not? What's going on? That's right. They had a certain wrong keyword phrase in mind. And when I said, you know what? You've already saturated natural horsemanship. So they had discretionary income. They had people that need it. They want it. They don't need it. So we had to really scratch a little deeper. So if they're not findable under horse training, it's because they're not using that phrase. Google is a non-emotional, non-intuitive robot. They also had a huge problem with another Pirelli on the market. Anyone? Tires. So what we did is we looked at their Google Analytics. 50% of their traffic was actually misspellings for the word Pirelli tire. Now, who's the rightful owner of the word Pirelli? Pirelli tires or Pirelli horses? What do you think? Well, Pat was born with that name. I think he'd probably think he was the rightful owner of that name. But the users kept spelling it wrong. It was interesting when I was doing research. Is Tim Odom here this morning? Thank you, Tim. He and I had a fantastic conversation, and we talked about the sophistication level of your audience, and they want these things. They're a very discerning audience, as is the Pirelli audience. They know what they want, know when they want it, and they know the pain around selecting the wrong services and tools. They know the pain. And for Penny, she's got some serious pain. So when we started digging in, we started looking at, okay, what's really going on? So does anyone know why? Let's go back for a minute. Let's all take a minute and go way back to the beginning when Google was first developed. It was a Stanford research project. Larry Page and Sergey Brin were challenged by their professors that morning to come up with something because they were frustrated. They could not find the content that was being published by professors and doctoral students. They couldn't get access to that material. So they're like, how can I come up with an engine or a database that lets me access that quickly? Because I don't want to wait until those documents are published. That could take forever to get into the library. So they were challenged that day by their professors to come up with something. So they figured out that the model should be term papers. Y'all remember when you wrote your last term paper? As painful as that might be, go back there with me. I want you to start looking at your website with a fresh eye. I want you to look at it as if Google was looking at every single page of your website as a separate term paper. Now, its job is to connect each page of your website with a specific search phrase. So this is why we care. It's all about search demand. So this is a 2012 HubSpot report. So I want you to look at this. A term like shoes, obviously that's an extreme example, has high cost and high competition. So I don't know about you, but I want low cost and low competition. Wouldn't that be the dreamland we all live in? Low cost, low competition, yay. But we don't get that. And unfortunately, those phrases are incredibly expensive. It takes forever to rank under them. So then we want 2 to 3 keyword phrases like men's shoes, truck, accessories, something very generic like that. We're getting a little warmer, but it's not nearly good enough. How about Nike women's running shoe? Okay? So think about this. Bright toolbox gold or truck toolbox gold. Now I've got a very specific, very warm. And what's interesting is that those 4 keyword phrases or longer have a 36% conversion rate. Anyone getting 36% conversion rate out of their shopping cart right now? Anyone? So what I want you to think about is it may be a lot of work to go through and retrofit your site. I'm not saying that this is not going to be work. But I want you to, because you attended this session, I want you to be smarter than your competition, and I want you to play harder and rougher. And I want you to look and say, you know what, I'm going to go back and look at all the pages in my website, and I'm going to make sure that I've used these longer tail keyword phrases. Because 70% of all searches that happen on the internet are long tail. They're 4 keyword phrases or longer. So think about how your website is structured and how we can start connect with that. So become findable under the right keywords. So some of the keyword phrases I want you to think about is coffee, television, pets. Very, very generic. These are super cold keywords. So remember, we're moving through this cycle super fast. Some people might type in truck. Some people might type in truck accessory, whatever that phrase is, but they instantly think that was dumb. Why did I do that? And they move to something very quickly in their search process. So shopping keywords like Starbucks coffee, Sony television, pet store, bright truck toolbox. You know, something that's really specific where we know the make and model that they're looking for, but we can learn so much more than just this. Then we're looking at purchasing keywords like Starbucks coffee shops in downtown Denver. What do we know about that person now? We know where they live. What else do we know? They love Starbucks. Thank you. When do they want it? Now. Now is the phrase that should get everyone excited, right? We want them to be ready now. When they hit that shopping cart, they got their credit card on the table and they're ready to buy. I don't know about you, but I don't want to waste any time on cold call keyword phrases that are informational and shopping in nature. It's a massive waste of my time.
So I don't want to be focused on these. I want to be focused on phrases like this. Sony Plasma Television Repair. I know what brand they want. I know what their problem is. Their television's broken. And I know that they have a plasma, which I specialize in. How about this one? Pet store with exotic bird food Dayton. Right? Anyone have a bird in here? Anyone bird people? Okay, good. They're weird. Let's just say it, all right? Bird people are different, okay? They care deeply about this really annoying creature, right? But they have a lot of invested in this, just like in your car, guys, right? They have a lot invested. Okay, I have to admit something. I've been watching the History Channel a lot, and I am absolutely addicted to Counts Customs. Anyone seen this show? Okay, I think I have a little thing for Danny. It kind of makes my husband uncomfortable, actually. I know he's in Vegas. My husband was really worried I was going to hunt him down, right? So I'm not really a car girl, but I think I might be becoming a car girl thanks to Danny. Anyway, I digress. So what I want you to do, are you guys up with working with partners just for 5 minutes to try to figure this out? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to buddy up with the person next to you. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to turn to page 4 of your handout. Page 4. What we're going to do is we're going to walk you through this cycle. Now I'm going to give you 5 minutes, so you have to work fast. So between the two of you, I want who's A and who's B. Raise your hand. Who's A in your group? A's, put them up. Type A's, put them up. Okay. Everyone up? Okay, A's. Stay with me. A's, what I want you to do is I want you to work with B. I want you to brainstorm these informational shopping and buying phrases. So do the dumb work, do truck, do carburetor, do the dumb work, okay? That's informational phrases. Then I want you to get to those shopping phrases, like those 2 and 3 keyword phrases that are a little warmer. Then I want you to get 2 to 3 buying keywords. I want you to guess. It's okay to guess because I'm going to show you how Google sees that. We're going to see how close the two of you are together. Okay, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Work fast. We'll get some music on if we could. Okay, buying keywords. Don't think about it too hard. Just write it down. Sometimes we have to go back to the beginning and think about what our audience really wants. Okay, let's start wrapping up. You've got to put your head into the mindset of the searcher. Because a lot of us, we're so deep in the analytics, we're so deep in the site architecture, we're so worried about the penguin and panda updates of Google that we don't ever lift our head up and look at our customer. Right? That's the big problem here, is I want you to reconnect with how they think. So here's my television, I've got a problem, right? So I go to Google and I start typing in specific keyword phrases like television at 435 million searches a month. So guys, what kind of keyword is that? Is that informational, shopping, or buying? What is it? Informational, that's right, because they have just started thinking about it. But what, 435 million people do that every day. So you're like, no one's typing that in. Yeah, they are typing that in, but that's not where they convert. That's not where they actually put their money down on the line. So then so I want you to think about this as super expensive, and this is very, very costly. So dollars are flying out of your bank account. All right? And then our users, why would we pay for an unhappy user? That's a ridiculous effort. How about this one? Television repair, 983,000 searches a month. We've made quite a drop, haven't we? But our cost came down. The competitive nature of that keyword came down. So I know a lot of you do paid search or pay-per-click. Well, what I want you to think about is if I optimize a page on my website for that specific phrase, it's going to rank that much faster, the less the competition. So I want you to pick phrases that are going to rank super fast. Okay, Sony television repair. Now I know we have a broken television, 434,000 searches a month. We took another hit in search volume. But our competition went down and our price went down. When's the last time a marketer said, I want to give you lower search volume, and actually have you pay me less? Right? So I want you to think about it. It's not about the quantity of the search volume. Get that out of your head. I want you to think about the quality of the search volume. That's what counts, because when they go in there, they're going to be looking for very specific phrases. So as we come down here, what's wrong with the word Dayton? Anybody?
Too generic.
Yeah, it's too generic. There's actually 23 Daytons in the U.S. So I know a lot of you ship U.S., but a lot of people will search locally because maybe they don't want to pay for shipping. They're cheap. And maybe they'll look at those options. So think about, how could I have a page that ranks for every single city in the U.S.? You guys are savvy marketers. You could do that. They just don't know that option exists. You could say, you know what, once I get to that date and page, you could say, you know what, we free ship and we guarantee it. Why not? You could be their local U.S. provider. So be smart. Think differently than your competitors. And as we come down this shopping continuum, you'll see even at Television Repair Sony Dayton, Ohio, on-site repair, we have 5,940 searches a month. That long, ridiculous keyword has 5,900 searches a month. That's crazy talk. But that's how people have become, right? They know